I always enjoy this segment each week because it's a segment that we do for the right reason. Our Gridiron Greats segment, try to shed some light on some of the players in the past and trying to help them out, and also getting a chance to meet and talk with some of the greats in NFL history. And today's one of those days as we welcome to the program. He is a Hall of Famer, defensive lineman for the Bears for many, many years, Super Bowl champion team as well. Dan Hampton with us. Dan, how are you?
Hey, just wonderful. How are you, Nick?
You know, I'm pretty good, Dan. I'll be honest with you. You ever have a day where you just feel? I mean, I like to feel good every day, but today's one of those days. I just feel like out of the box good today.
Well, I know what you mean. By the way, that bumper song you was talking about, "Dancing in the Dark,"
yeah,
in 1984, and you know, not that a lot of people care, but that was funny. We went to training camp, and the Springsteen album had just come out, and Gary Fentz had come up to me and goes, "Hey, this is our soundtrack, man." And that year we went to the championship game, lost to the 49ers, but the next year was the year that I think a lot of people remember the Chicago Bears for, and it brings back a lot of great memories. But I know what you mean. And, you're a little bummed out Obama's coming to town. Guess what? He's always hanging around Chicago.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm mad. Dan, I'm going to be honest. I'll tell you what I'm mad about. I get off at noon, and I have to go right past the airport to get home. And guess what? I got to take another route because he's going to tie it up on me, and I'm angry.
Forgot about it. Now, not to get off on a tangent.
No, we'll talk others. Go ahead.
Yeah, but, I will tell you this. I feel your pain. We had the NATO nonsense here a couple of weeks ago, and preceding that, he was in town for a couple of days. So buy you a pack of gum and listen to some good sports radio talk shows.
Well, there you go. There you go. I'll listen to reruns of myself. No, I'm only kidding.
There you go.
Hey, Dan, talking with Dan Hampton here on the show. Hey, Dan, and before I get into some of the things with Gridiron Greats, today again, some of the players who have had lawsuits being brought against the NFL, they joined forces today and put together a master complaint in Philadelphia today. And basically they're saying the NFL, knew they would get hurt and didn't tell them. I'm throwing some of my own words in there. I want to ask you an honest question because I'm on the players' side that I believe that the people who have come before a lot of the players today, I do believe they should be taken care of, and that's part of what we talk about with Gridiron Greats. But I would say this. You played for many years. Was there ever a point in time where you didn't think you could get hurt?
Well, we think we could get hurt. No. You know you're going to get hurt. It's just how severe. And, we always said a prayer, and, you always thought of, don't break your neck. That was the thing that, being paralyzed was always the preeminent thought. But, I've had over 30 operations and knee replacement, hundreds and hundreds of joint trainings, and I wouldn't. It was part of the territory, and I don't think you can take that away from the game. It is what it is. On the front end you're going to get beat up. Now, you made a wonderfully eloquent point that this massive lawsuit that everyone's talking about today, it's hand in glove with what the Gridiron Greats and their organization is trying to achieve, which is we understand that it was a byproduct of playing the game, the injuries, the concussions, but I personally, I think it would, the players would have to be virtually duping themselves, lying if they said that, oh no, we expected to walk out 10 years of NFL service perfect as we walk. It's impossible. But your point that there needs to be not only attention but some type of mechanism which will help take care of some of the huge medical bill situations that a lot of these players are facing. Now, anytime the lawsuits come out, then, of course, there's going to be the litigation, the lawyers, the fees, all that. Gridiron Greats has stood for a number of years to try to raise money just to help the raise not only the awareness but be able to afford the players a little decency in their struggle with medical bills, medical problems, the maladies that obviously they had to deal with after they left the playing days. So I don't know where it's going to go. And I understand both sides. And, I know it's a slip and fall world where everybody, your floor is wet, I'm going to sue you. Well, I understand that mentality. I don't know if the long term is going to kill the Golden Goose. It's a great game. And everybody that had a chance to play in it like I did for 12 years, you thank the good Lord that you had the ability and the privilege of playing. And I understand that these players are saying, hey, now you can't turn your back on us. Now you need to help us with some of the problems that we basically incurred playing the game. Yeah. And so I don't know where it's all going to end up, but on one hand, I think it's a fantastic game, and you can't just keep bleeding and killing the Golden Goose. On the other hand, there's a lot of players with a lot of problems that need attention, and that's what Gridiron Greats has been trying to fill the void up until this point where now there's going to be, a huge lawsuit that has to be dealt with.
Hey, we're talking with Dan Hampton, Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Bears, with us here today. Happy to have you here, Dan. You mentioned killing the Golden Goose, and I didn't really mean to go there, but when you say that, one of the things that concerns me with the continued lawsuits, etc., is where are the next crop of players coming from? Because, as a parent, now my kids are grown, but as a parent, I would think if I had a kid going in to play Pop Warner or something now, I'd think twice when you hear all of this, and I worry that it won't happen now, but maybe 30 years down the road is when we may see it really affect the game.
When I was inducted in the Hall of Fame, I was exposed to John Mackey for the first time. And,
wow.
And God bless his soul, he was really messed up. And so you see that on one hand. On the other, I see a lot of guys that played 15 years and 30 years after the fact, they're fine. I think somewhere in the evolution of a career, whether it's in high school, whether it's in college, if you are getting hit with a series of concussions that are causing major problems, then I don't think, you're not made to play the game.
Yeah.
I could try all I want, and I could never have been a great swimmer. I couldn't have been a great jockey. I mean, there's certain things I can. Certain guys are more equipped to play it, and maybe there has to be, I hate to say 3 strikes and an out, but hey, in high school, I never got my bell rung in high school, never got my bell rung in college. I mean, am I hard-headed? Hell yeah. I'm just saying, certain people may be more equipped to play the game. I don't know, but I do know this. But saying killing the Golden Goose at some point. 20 years from now, what game are we going to have? Is it going to be a bunch of guys with bubble wrap around them? I don't know. Is everybody going to want to watch that? No, I don't think so. So, I think there has to be a more judicious evaluation of the players as they grow older, go through the different ranks of high school, college, and, of course, in the pros. And, I never met him. I think the kid's name is Merrill Hodge. He plays for the Bears.
Oh, yeah.
He retired because of concussions. The last time I checked, he's still on ESPN. He's still, able to conjugate verbs. I'm just saying, I don't know where it is and where it's going to wind up, but I do know this, that the integrity of the game is going to be, I don't want to say violated, but it'll be changed. I just hope it doesn't change so much. Yeah.
And we've been chatting with Dan Hampton here. And Dan, I know you're in this segment. I want to tell people, if you don't know about Gridiron Greats, please go to their website, gridirongreats.org. Check it out. If you're so inclined, you can assist there, or you could just do some research, because I think if people know a little more about the great work that organization does, they may be more inclined to understand the situation and also potentially help out. Because while we see the millionaires today, there are guys in the history books of the NFL that weren't as lucky and blazed the trail, and Gridiron Greats does a great job.
Yes, sir. And, and they're trying to help out with new dental and eye programs that'll be started in the major cities. But, hey, I went through 2 strikes, and both of those were beneficial not only to our immediate players, but now, 20 years after the fact, these guys are making a ton of dough. And will they need this type of no. But the older guys that played in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s that are struggling now, you go to Gridiron Greats, and there's so many wonderful different venues, autographed jerseys and jackets and helmets signed and all these different things that help raise funds for these legendary players that weren't able to share in the great rewards that the players are able to share in today.
Yep. And we've been chatting with Dan Hampton. Dan, I hope I'm sorry we went all into this. Wanted to talk a little personal stories with you, a little bit more, but we didn't have time. But thank you so much for being with us today, and hopefully we'll get a shot. We'll chat again, Dan.
Sounds good, Nick. Hey, have a great afternoon. And, go around through Henderson.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go park myself at a casino and lose a few dollars.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Dan. So Dan Hampton, Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Bears with us here. Don't forget, check out gridirongreats.org. He tells me it happens to him in Chicago all the time, stopping the traffic. Let's see what Mitch has to say in a moment. Not Just Sports here on News Talk 720. KDWN.